Welcome back. Well, more federal workers in Maryland lost their jobs last month than at any time in the past 30 years. And that's the subject of a new report from our media partner, the Baltimore Banner, and reporter Greg Morton, who joined us. Good to see you again, Greg. I know in your report you recite 3,500 federal workers being lost in our state, more than any other state. By what margin?
By about 1,000 in June. So in June, we experienced a decline of around 3,500 federal workers is what the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates.
That's a lot.
Quite a few, yeah, more than in any single month in the last 29 years, since 1996, the year I was born.
Wow. Well, now we know. All right. Obviously, this is an impact for every single one of those workers. They now have to redo their lives. It's an impact on the state, but it also gives us some sort of insight into the overall economic impact of the Trump administration's efforts to cut back the federal government with DOGE.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, for sure, and we've done reporting on this before, it's going to have a massive impact on things like the tax base, at the rate at which people are able to patronize things like small businesses. But, as with all of this stuff, it's going to be a while before we're able to appraise and take stock of the full impact of all of these changes, just because things happen so fast and so much at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, and once again, you go back to every single one of these 3,500 individuals, the way it's impacting their lives, that's very difficult to measure, but it has to be significant. What about which agencies they're coming from? Do we know anything about that?
So far, we do not know exactly which agencies that these job losses are coming from. One of the difficult parts for me as a data reporter is to just put a narrative together out of all of these different data sources. As I said, things happen so fast and so many different agencies are in charge of keeping track of this stuff that it'll be probably a few months before we know exactly which agencies have been impacted and exactly which jobs have been impacted. But we'll stay on it, and certainly we'll be continuing coverage of this into the future.
And it will be a few months before we see the direct impact on our state, too, on what happens to a state when you have that many workers all of a sudden filing for unemployment, looking for work, etc.
Certainly, certainly.
All right. Really interesting as always. Thank you, Greg, for joining us. Do appreciate it. If you'd like to read his report, and again, more other independent reporting from our media partner, the Baltimore Banner, head to thebaltimorebanner.com.